Namaste. This class, we're working with the strap, and we're going to be doing what we call the Reclined leg series. There's a lot of versions, there's a lot of variations. I love them all. We're covering a lot of them in this class. Again, this will really effectively release hamstrings, hips, buttock musculature. The combined effect is decompressing the spine and taking a lot of pressure off the back. I have a knot. We started in reclined cobbler's pose. You can see I've placed folded yoga blankets underneath her legs on each side. At home, you can use pillows, right? She's pretty flexible, right? You might have to support your legs. Your knees might be up there, and that's fine, right? You just put more pillows or a higher stack of blankets underneath your legs, right? If this is uncomfortable, then go to constructive rest pose instead. Anat, would you show that briefly? Soles of the feet together, soles of the feet apart. Let me try that again. Soles of the feet on the ground, wide apart, knees together. Okay, but let's bring her back to cobbler's pose for a few moments. She really enjoys that. Good. Okay, now. So the first version that I often start my practice with if I'm doing this work. Please now bring your knees into your chest and hold on to both. Okay, good. And then step your left foot down on the ground. You're going to keep your left leg bent. Strap up the ball of your right foot. Reach your right leg up to the sky. In this first version, one leg is straightening, one leg is staying bent. Right? The reason I like this version is because it keeps more of the lower back and pelvis surface area on the ground. Right? And we'll stay here for about 5 breaths. Now, you can see her arms aren't all the way straight and they're not all the way bent. You don't want your hands down here pulling. And if you straighten the arms too much, that can sort of yank your arms upwards and throw your head back. So something in between bent or straight. Grip as relaxed as you can. Good. Right. Let's do the second side. Just bend your right leg a little bit. Place your left foot into the belt and switch. Sole of right foot on the ground, left leg up to the sky. Right? Now, she's a yoga teacher. She's very flexible. I want to show what it might look like for some of you, right? The leg might be here and it might be bent, right? So I'm going to use the word straighten or begin to straighten, right? Your leg might not come all the way straight, but it might be that your leg in this position might be really, really effectively releasing your hamstring muscles, right? And your leg might be shaking. It might be shaking like an earthquake. Right? The more tension that's built up in the leg, the more it's going to tend to shake. Right? Mine still shake a little bit, especially in the morning, first time doing this. Good. All right. And let's go back to the first side again. Bend the right leg, step it into the belt, step your left foot down on the ground. Now, second version of this. Straighten your left leg, send it long. Right? You can see because she's pretty flexible, her tendency is this leg to come into her body, which is fine. For most of us, I'd be happy with vertical, right? And then for a lot of us, really, it's going to look again, go ahead, bend the leg a bit. Good. And then as you try and straighten, good. It's going to look something like that. Good. Now, I'm going to position this right alongside her outer hip. We're going to use that in a moment. Now, left leg's extending and reaching long. Right foot is flexing, pressing up towards the sky. Towards the end of an exhalation, as your belly's dropping, you're going to do a little sit-up, brief abdominal contraction, and then inhale, rest, lower down. Straps into your right hand, right? Start to externally rotate right leg and lower out to the right. So the blanket sort of acts like a door stopper. The goal is not to get your leg all the way down to the ground, but the goal is to lengthen it laterally while the leg is rotating externally. Right? Now let's show them in a moment what that rotation looks like. So I'm going to ask you to bend your right leg. And then rotate the right heel up towards the sky a little bit more. And then slowly start to re-straighten. So you can do that as many times as you like. Bend the leg, feel the thigh bone rotating externally in the socket, and then re-straighten. Good. And inhale, come all the way back up. Good. And switch sides. All right. So that's version 1. Version 2, now we're going to straighten the right leg. Right? And right leg, think of, you're going to try and ground as much of the back of this leg as possible. Right? Not necessarily a lot of it is going to be grounded, but this leg is actively reaching and sort of vigorously lengthening. Towards the end of an exhalation, you're going to do a little sit-up, brief abdominal contraction. Inhale, lower down. Belts into left hand. I have that same folded blanket on this side. She's going to start to lower out to her left. All right. I'll reposition myself a little bit. Think of lengthening from your pelvis outward through the inner knee, inner ankle, inner heel. Right? And then let's show them that one more time. Now you're going to bend your left leg. See your heel, when the thigh rotates externally, the heel turns more towards the sky, and then go ahead and re-straighten. Inhale, come back up. Set the belt down, hug your knees into chest. And then please place both feet on the ground again. Right. So you can straighten your legs here if you'd like. You can keep them bent. Experiment for yourself what feels better in between sides, in between poses. Right. What feels better on your back? Okay. Now, the next series we'll call version 3 of this series. We start with this first pose, right foot in the belt, right leg reaching up to the sky. Left leg straightens. Now, I want you to bring your right leg forward actually a bit here. I want to show them something. Now, if you're on the tighter side of the spectrum, a lot of muscle tension in the leg, right? What might happen, bend the knee a little bit, as you straighten the leg, it might straighten, but it might come a ways away from your body. For now, we don't want that. That's sort of a different action. That's strengthening something else, right? So I'd rather you bend your leg, right? Think of your thigh bone about perpendicular to the ground. And then think about straightening from there, or begin to straighten the leg, right? And it may not come all the way straight, and that's fine, right? You can see this little trembling happening here in the hamstrings. That's what we want. We're trying to dial into this area of the body, right? So if we think that we're just trying to straighten the leg at any cost, that idea might be counterproductive, okay? Okay. Now, take the straps into your left hand. Right? We'll think if straight up to the sky, if that's 12 o'clock, go ahead and move your right leg over to the left till about 11 o'clock or so. Right? So it's not really a twist yet, but we're starting to access more the outside of the leg around to the back of the hip. And then from 11 o'clock, let's go to 10 o'clock or so. Think of these as like lookout points. You're driving along the PCH down in Big Sur or something. Keep stopping your car because there's so many things to see. We're not trying to get the leg to the ground. It's not a destination. It's a scenic drive, and there might be many, many, many scenic lookout points along the way. And then we'll start to go perhaps towards 9 o'clock or so. And as she moves towards 9 o'clock, now the focus changes a little bit. Now it tends to go into more the zone of spinal twist. Right? Still very effective for outside of leg and hip, but now it's rotating the spine a little bit more. And if we wanted to enjoy more of the twist, then she would keep turning and come toward the outside of her left leg. So you can see her bottom foot has also rotated, or really her whole leg is rotated, so now her bottom foot is pointing towards the wall. Right? The leg is still trying to straighten, right shoulder, right arm, softening and grounding. Nice and slowly, inhale, come back up. Let's take the belt off. I want you to hug your right knee into chest. And just feel this nice sensation. We did all that straightening and straightening. Function of the legs is really to be able to bend a lot and straighten. And it can feel so soothing, so balancing for the nervous system, for the muscular structures to do the opposing actions now. This nice deep fold of the leg. And then go ahead and release your right leg down on the ground. Yeah, and go ahead and straighten right leg for a moment. And we'll just take that sacred pause here for a few moments. For a lot of you, this will feel very comfortable. If having your legs straight doesn't feel so good, then please rebend them. We call constructive rest pose, of course. Again, I mentioned this course is about taking the time to pause in our lives. And we learn to observe when we slow things down. So in between sides, really, really nice to take the time and just observe your breath, observe sensations in your body, observe what the right side feels like compared to left side. Let's do the second side. Please hug your left knee into your chest. Okay. Here's your strap. All right. Start to reach your left leg up to the sky. One more thing that I like to do, we haven't done yet. In this position, I'd like you to do a knot. Take the straps into your left hand. What I want you to do is bend your left leg. It's going to come out towards the side. And then inhale, start to re-straighten. Yeah, like a hydraulic pump. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Find this especially effective when the body's really cold, the muscles are really stiff, especially in the morning time. Sometimes that action of movement, or sort of pumping the leg, really brings a lot more suppleness and sort of elasticity. Okay? Sometimes we focus on just holding the leg as straight as it will go for a little bit. Sometimes we use movement to accomplish that. Right? Good. Towards the end of an exhalation, another little sit-up. And inhale, lower on down. We're going to take that scenic drive into spinal twist. We'll start at 12, high noon. We'll take the leg over to the right now to about 1 o'clock or so. And these are arbitrary stopping points. You can try less, you can try a little bit more, but I think of it, we're doing 3 or 4 different lookout points before we get to twist. And the body, sort of like a seesaw in this pose. Right? The more the leg goes that way, the more the tendency is something over here is to lift. Right? So there's a dialogue in the body, not just one or the other, but the left arm, left shoulder anchoring down as the leg is dropping to the right. Right? You can see she's gone to about 2 o'clock. Right? And so she's navigating this, and she's moving slowly enough that she can feel how each angle, each placement of the leg is affecting slightly or bringing awareness to slightly different areas of her body. Right? Right? She said now she's about at 3 o'clock. And now you can see her body is going more into twist. Her bottom leg is now rotated out. Her top leg is close to the ground, although getting to the ground is not a goal or an objective, really. And inhale, come on back. Great. And set the strap down. Hug your left knee into chest. Go ahead and rest your left leg on the ground and pause. I can't tell you how many times I've done these poses with the strap, how many times I've used them in group classes and with private students, how much relief it's brought to myself and to my students. Sort of almost like my bread and butter as a yoga teacher. Big bucks. Okay, right. Now, that's it for today's class, except we're going to end in a longer Shavasana today. Because this pose can require muscular action in the back or some amount of gripping, I'm going to ask her, Anat, please bend your legs. I've made a little blanket, sort of burrito. I'm going to put it underneath her knees, and she can start to straighten her legs. Yeah. And then feel free to wiggle a little bit. Feel free to position yourself and experiment, explore a little bit how to best position yourself on the mat. You can see the backs of her legs, the backs of her knees, the upper calves contour and drape over the blanket. That takes some of the muscle demand out of the lower back. I'm going to do a brief guided relaxation. Sometimes discomfort in our body, pain, can be stress and anxiety, very often in fact. So this practice is so effective because we're addressing muscular tension, we're addressing anxiety and sort of the mental component, and we're being reminded to breathe and notice your breath. Feel the weight of your body resting. Back of your head. Upper back. Left arm. Right arm. Feel how your body continues to settle. Like an ice cube that's melting in the sunshine on the sidewalk. As your body relaxes, it settles, grounds, sort of spreads out. Back ribs, back of your pelvis. Feel the blanket underneath your knees. Weight of your heels. Your whole body resting. And turn our attention inward. You can think of how a turtle will retract its arms and legs and head into its shell. Think how your senses, you're withdrawing them inward. You're turning, you're folding your attention inward. Breath is soft, smooth, and steady. Soft, smooth, and steady. It's a gentle rhythm. It's like when you rock a baby to sleep. It's gentle ebb and flow, resting you, relaxing you, and possibly helping, if you're in that cycle, sort of pain, anxiety, gripping your breath, start to break out of that vicious cycle. Resting, quieting, soothing. This mantra says, may all beings be happy and free. I'd like to chant it for you. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. It's my sincere hope and desire, wish that this class, this whole series, provides you a lot of relief, a lot of more ease in your body, and more happiness perhaps in your life. Thank you.